Dear friend, welcome to this. Welcome to our event. Our what is this? What is this? Wednesday? I'm so confused. Wednesday evening. It's 11:33 p.m. And at 1 o'clock a.m. I do my WABC extravaganza, and this is the last chance of the day for me to talk to you about what's happening during the day. And I'm so glad you can be with us. I'm so glad you're joining us. Let me get down to brass tacks here. What we are seeing is cataclysmic. And what's interesting to note is depending upon where you go at the cellular level, the atomic level, the somatic level, wherever you go, you get a different perspective. If you want to stay at the cable news layer, that's fine. If you want to stay at the CNN level, that's fine. But what is happening in our world, whatever you call us, is, ladies and gentlemen, catastrophic. It is like nothing I have ever seen. Now, I'm going to be throwing a lot of things at you. Did you happen to watch Mr. Jones? Mr. Jones. Did you happen to watch Mr. Jones? Okay. Mr. Jones with Mr. Fuentes. Did you happen to see this? Did you? Did you happen to see him? Did you happen to see Mr. Jones? Be watching Mr. Jones today at around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Be watching today. See if you recognize anybody. Ronald Reagan said something which is the most important thing ever. The 11th commandment. Thou shalt not speak ill of a fellow Republican. Let me get the exact. Thou shalt not speak ill of a fellow Republican. Do you hear what I'm saying? We are in consumption mode. Ann Coulter, Laura Loomer, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Milo, everybody cannibalizing the movement. Everybody must have a movement. Everybody must have a chance to meet. We need to have our own Appalachian, our own La Stella, which was mini Appalachian, where the heads of the families meet. And we say to each other, if you have a beef, you call that person up and you tell that person you don't like what they're saying. Laura Loomer says some good things, but she's wrong. She's referring to Marjorie Taylor Greene by these incredibly horrible terms. We don't do that. The left is looking at us and saying, look how they're cannibal. They're eating each other. They're shredding each other. Why? Because they're a bunch of sniveling, little, jealous children. Candace Owens wants to be everybody's favorite darling. Tucker Carlson, Milo, sniveling. Ann Coulter, what is her problem? Coming after Trump? Do yourself a favor, shut up. Call him up. We don't need to hear you give ammunition to the enemy. Now, if you have a problem, as I do from now on, from every now and then, from the president to maybe tweak something, redirect something, do it. Say it. Mr. President, no. Don't sit back like an idiot. But why am I? Last night, this bothered me more than anybody else. Anything else. And if you look at my X, if you look at my X last night, I believe it was Scott Baio. Anybody have a problem with Chachi? I don't. You got a problem with him? I don't. What the hell do I care about Chachi? Yeah. Scott Baio. That's right. Scott Baio podcast. He's doing this thing. Thank you, by the way. Isn't that Festivus? Sinfeld Fuentes is soft. Don't know what that means, but thank you. No idea what that means. In any event, Scott Baio was on and he was watching Gut Bucket. Politics Light. Jimmy Fallon. Nice. Innocent. Kind of, not Walt Whitman, Will Rogers. Hey, do you hear about those cheerleaders on the Washington on the Minnesota Vikings? Couple of guys who can't score. Okay, fine. Look, if that's whatever you want. Anyway, this guy typhus, whatever this guy is, this hyperglandular, tatted up, whatever. He's making fun of Scott Baio. He said, "Is he alive? Did you hear this? Is he alive?" Scott Baio took great umbrage at that. He goes, "Wait a minute." He says, I was a director in 2016. His career was shelved because he dared to stand up. He didn't have Fox News to back him up, but he dared to say something, and his career was shelved. And he was shelved by virtue of the fact that he dared to speak on behalf of the president. So they're making fun of him. Is he alive? Because you get these sniveling, mean girls. They want to be cool. It's our group. This is so schoolyard. We're cliquish. You're a whore. No, you're a whore. You're a slut. No, you're a slut. Slut, whore? What are we talking about? We should have, if you're at that level, listen, I ain't at that level right now. I ain't at that level. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't at that level, and I'm telling you right now, it's one of those things which I'm going to tell you right now that if I was, so help me God, I would do something so important. I would make sure I never, ever said that, ever about anyone. Not if I'm Ann Coulter. Why am I attacking the president? Why? So the left. But anyway, what did Scott Baio and Anthony Sabato? We can kind of joke. But you're on Fox News and you're laughing. You're laughing at people. You're lucky doing there, you talentless oaf. And he's done more than you'll ever do. Say what you want. But the thing is, it's snide. And we've got to stop this. Now, that aside, somebody was asking yesterday, what is with this Nick Fuentes thing? Let me give you an analogy. Maybe you should think about this, which is important. Maybe you should listen to me. Very important. In 1977, there was a song that came out. And the song was called You Light Up My Life, Debbie Boone. Every disc jockey hated it. Everybody laughed at it. Everybody just said, oh, no. It was number one. Sold more units, more singles, more than anything. But people hated it. He is in our orbit. He is what people are talking about now. And he has done more to invigorate our movement than typhoid did, or typhus, or whatever his name is. He has done more. More people are talking. Look at what these people have done. They spoke regarding January 6th. January 6th was a travesty. This guy, like him or not, was debanked, deplatformed, de-everything. They wanted to subpoena him for a J6 committee. Why? It was the most important. He didn't do anything. He stood at a place, if you know the configuration of the Congress, he stood closer to the Supreme Court than he did the Congress. Okay? And they got him. They said that he was going to charge. He never got near. It's like 300, 500 feet away. Listen to him. January 6th was a travesty. Nobody went after any of the BLM or Antifa folks during the National Day of Horror after that George Floyd fiasco. Remember that one? Nobody. Nobody. Now, let me tell you something. I'm reading some of your comments because I want to do this. This is I know people have this tendency, and I love you to death, to miss the point. You are in a battle for our republic. And when in the battle, we are to and sometimes it's fun just in passing to just be snide. I love it too. But do you know what is going on here? The president is under attack. At 1 o'clock, when I do the ABC thing, Laura Loomer was spot on about after Trump. Is anybody there going to be able to take it on? No. Mm-mm. No. Do you think J.D. Vance? Do you think J.D. Vance has got it? No. You know why you like J.D. Vance? Because of the way he looks. His size, his beard, his story. You like... I mean, he's good, very good. You respond, when I say you, not you, but I mean you, respond to things like the way people look. If you think Tulsi is hot, you think she's doing a great job. Pam Bondi has lost a lot of serious credentials as far as many people are concerned, for reasons I don't really understand. I think it was the Epstein thing. But people initially thought she was great by virtue of the fact of how she looked. Kash Patel, who I think is doing just the worst job, is hurt more often than not because of how he looks, because he looks like he's always like he's frightened. There are these people, we look at how they look. Laura Loomer, people talk about how she looks, and Marjorie Taylor Greene and how she looks and how everybody looks. And Lauren Boebert she's a tramp and a thing and this and that. And Luna is crazy how she looks. And there's Kristi Noem, and she's dressed like the Barbie and how she looks. And I'm thinking to myself, did they do this during the Revolutionary War? Did the Patriots make fun of the way that Benjamin Franklin looked? I mean, is that what we are? That's where we are today. Why is Typhus making fun of Scott Baio? Now let's go through a couple of things. Let me see if I can bring a few items to your note. Let me look at some of your responses because I cannot read them on this one. Pam is a clown. Why is Pam a clown? We don't know. Sydney Sweeney, 2028. That is important. That's very, very important. He exposed Tucker. Exposed Tucker for what? Think before you go to a January 6th. Duh. What was wrong with January 6th? What was, are you blaming people for that? Look how people are turning on. Look at this. Milo was worn out to go. He's definitely controlled. You don't know what you're talking about, control. There's nobody controlled. I love Nick. He's laser focused, not a Fed. You know, the day when people were saying Fed, I thought they were saying, it sounded like fag. And I didn't hear it right. I'm thinking, what? Now, let me tell you something. Speaking of which, you are going to be seeing, you are going to be hearing stuff about Nick that is going to blow your mind. You've got the most powerful people in this group. Elon's moving in. Tucker is part of this. Thank you, Brasilia Mia. Vance doesn't stand a chance. Made it rhyme, but isn't funny. He does have a chance. He may, I agree with you. Just like Mamdani is going to be the next mayor of New York City. Okay? You got that? You could say all day, not you, but I'm saying you could say all day long, well, he's crazy, he's this. Oh, no. He's going to win this thing. He's going to win. He's going to win. I don't want it to be, but he's going to win. Now, I want to talk about this thing about Laura Loomer. This is very interesting. Laura Loomer, I respect these. I respect everybody from Alex. I respect Alex to go down the list. Tucker, yes. Candace, yes. Even Charlie Kirk. They may do it for making money. And Prosobiec, probiotic. This poor guy doesn't know where do I fit in. Remember Cernovich? Remember him? Is he in? Is he out? What does he do? Okay. But while he's in there, good for him. Michelle Malkin, what happened to her? Who knows? But Laura Loomer issued a blunt warning. And this is going to be the first piece of my piece on ABC today. A blunt warning about the Republican Party's future. Her view is straightforward. The GOP will not survive after Donald Trump leaves the stage. The reason? The reason, she argues, is not the collapse of the America First agenda or a loss of the MAGA voter base. Instead, it is the absence of a single unifying figure since Trump departs. Without him, she says, the Republican coalition is likely to fracture into competing factions, driven more by personal rivalries than by shared priorities. Donald Trump, she says, has been the essential force keeping a diverse and crazy Republican alignment together. Without his presence, without DJT, without our man, long-standing divisions and disagreements will resurface, and the differences are not limited to policy disputes, but extend to personal grudges, conflicting ambitions, and leadership struggles among those who see themselves as potential successors. Abso-freaking-lutely. We are disparate. We are mean. We are snide. Not only do we carp against the president, we carp and we belittle and we libel each other. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. We've won and we're still not happy. 2016, the man's in. If I am Nick or Alex, and Alex does a very good job. Alex doesn't really carp at other and make fun of and libel other people and belittle other people. He really doesn't do that. I'm not at that level. I can do it. I can be as petty as you are. But if at that level, and if I got a problem with somebody, I'll call them. But why everybody wants to separate, I have no idea. If we have a problem with the way somebody is looking at Israel, so be it. So be it. If you've got a problem with Israel, don't go after somebody. Just say what your position is. Do you think it's genocide, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, whatever it is? Just say it. Don't say Tucker's right, Tucker's wrong, Candace is it. Now, between you and me, Candace, sometimes, this is her opinion, if she has made a mockery, a fool out of herself, pursuing this Macron thing. And by the way, it never ceases to amaze me. How many people say, well, do you think she's a man? That's one of like 5 or 6 things she accused him of, up to and including, pursuant to the complaint, that she's Macron's father. I mean, it's nuts. Crazy. Thank you, W. Gynro. Am I reading this correctly? I can't. I'm sorry, Maya. W. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's a different story. But here is the thing that I love about what this fellow is saying. Okay? And I wish there was a better way to do it. For now on, we are lucky because we have people. We have a Nick. We have a Laura Loomer, a Tucker. Let me ask you something. Serious question. Who is the left's what? Who? Bill Maher? who is their, let's say, Ann Coulter or Milo, and Milo. I notice he's back in the fold again. I don't know. Anyway, who who is their Charlie Kirk? Who they don't have any. They don't have any. They don't have anybody. Somebody mentioned Destiny. Destiny is not a voice. That's one little attempt at theirs. There's like their, how do I say it? It's like Junk Yogurt used to be it for a while, and Anna Kasparian used to be it for a while. And don't kid yourself, if it wasn't for Israel and Zionism and all of these other particular issues, people like Katie Halper and Aaron Mate and Max Blumenthal, I think they would be progressive lefts, and they would have. Who knows? Who? I mean, I don't know where. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they fit in. I'm not really sure. Okay. And there are internecine battles going on among carping. I understand this, because understand, one of the thing happens, and this is very, very important. You make a lot of money and you become famous. When you have somebody clap for you at any level, to some people, it is the most heady thing you have ever seen in your life. Have you ever gone on a stage and have people come to see you, or turn on a radio show, or maybe you've got a YouTube channel? It's if you're not trained for this, you could think, wow, I'm really something. I am something. Well, yeah, but you're on a conveyor belt. You're one of many, but yes, you are. Be proud of what you do, but don't think you're somehow better than anybody else, because you are not. You are not better than anyone. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? You are not better, but it's tough. And then you get a lot of bucks behind you. Oh my God! And you can, people. I mean, you're on. It's I'm serious. And there are people who've never been. Candace Owens. Listen. A lot of them are just young. Nick Fuentes went from what, like college, to this. He's 26 years old. He's 26 years old. I got to think about him for this month. I'll have 41 years on him. Think about it. I could be his grandfather. So, I mean, I'm just saying, in terms of perspective, he's brilliant. Brilliant. To think like that fast, that uninterrupted. Don't forget who the granddaddy is. Alex. Stay tuned. But look who that is. I mean, there's some really smart people. Candace Owens is smart as a whip. It's one thing, you cannot do this and be an idiot. You cannot do it. Now, when you get into this, it's a different story. Then after you make your money and you've hit your fame, and you say, I am a voice to be reckoned with, then sometimes you start to get some people jealous. They can't just enjoy it. They have to go after the competition. Who was it? Gore Vidal said, I hate to see enemies of mine do well, or something like that. So anyway, Nick Fuentes, for the first time, is talking about America now. America only. America first. He is against. He has said some things. So what? He has said some things. Terrible things. Horrible things. So what? So what? Al Sharpton gets away with it. Maxine Waters gets away with it. Jasmine Crawford gets away with it. Tiffany Henyard literally gets away with it. She wasn't charged with anything. There are people who've said the most awful, terrible things about how I hate white people this and white people that and white people this and white people this. Remember when Freddie's Fashion Mart, the Jewish interlopers? This is Al Sharpton. He gets away. He gets a pass. But if you do it, you can't. Because the reason why is you can't because you are white. And that has been for the longest time verboten. So here comes Mr. Fuentes and his gripers or whatever the hell he's doing. And all of a sudden he's talking about stuff that for the first time in a long time, people are saying, wait a minute. Yeah, 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 you're right. Now, I think you can say exactly what he's saying without sounding like somebody from Crystal Knocked. You know, when you have people in your on your thumbnails with Jew, like stamped, Now remember one thing about Nick. He's a young man. He's gonna learn. He's gonna learn. I'm telling you right now. I'm putting this. This is gonna be one of these days. You're gonna put this aside because you just lost people. There were people that you lost who feel uncomfortable. There are people who, believe it or not, are offended. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say that. You didn't have to do it. You didn't have to say it. You don't have to do a therefore. You don't. And believe it or not, the problem I have is it ain't necessarily the Jews, Nick. It's, you might say, maybe it's Israelis or Zionists or something else, because a lot of the anti-Zionist movement right now are Jewish people. So just look, tone it down. Whatever. You're giving the opposition enemy, the enemy opposition ammunition. Fine, whatever it is, fine. But that listen, don't worry about it. If somebody doesn't like you, turn it off. If you don't like him, if you don't like Rachel Maddow, I don't watch Rachel Maddow. Turn it off. Turn it off. Don't worry about it. You don't have to apologize to anybody, but I'm telling you, you're going to be better off not doing that. That's all. That's all. That's all. All right. Overnight, all of a sudden, it is this shining star, this Nick Fuentes, who was like, he was there, and all of a sudden, he is through the roof. And if you listen to him, you make up your mind. I'm not asking you to justify it. I still don't know why the Beatles were number one. I don't know this. Do you understand this? And you're going to be hearing people who just do not understand it. Let me also tell you something. There's going to be some folks saying some really, really, really stupid things about him. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. They're not in charge. There's nothing you can do about that. What I want you to understand is simply this. We fought long and hard to get here. And we fought long and hard with this president. Okay? That's the guy who brought us to the dance. Don't forget that. Forget Nick Fuentes. Forget Alex. Forget Ann Coulter and Candace and Tucker and Charlie Kirk. They're not running for anything. They can't do anything. They're in charge of no cabinet position. They don't have any government. They don't have a military, law enforcement, nothing. They're popular in terms of their power. They're popular in terms of their numbers. They're very influential. But don't ever overestimate what they're doing. They're not the president. Don't forget Trump. Don't forget who he is. Don't forget why he's there. Don't forget why we're here. Don't forget how we fought. It's like we're never happy. Once he's in, you think we'd all get along? No. The carping, the sniping, this anger. In New York City, they've all turned their back on Curtis Lewa. And the argument is that, well, he can't win. Well, self-fulfilling prophecy. Curtis Lewa is the best person available, bar none. And they're looking at Adams because he's the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils is still evil. The man's a monosyllabic oaf who wanted to turn New York into a I guess in a what am I say? Kind of a sanctuary city. Thank you, Leslie Watson. Thank you so much. I guess he wanted to turn him in. Whatever. I don't know what the story is. But what I do know is simply this. I am not going to turn my back on this president. I'm not going to do it. I am not a Republican. I'm an American. Let me say that again to you. Hello, is this on? I'm an American. Nick Fuentes, Limbaugh, Stern meets X Internet. Oh, Fuentes equals Limbaugh divided by Stern meets X Internet. Interesting. I like that. Kind of a algebraic quantity. Thank you for that. I'm an American. No, that sounds corny. I'm an American. This is it. I'm not pro Trump. I'm not MAGA. I'm not America first. I'm America. Constitution. That's it. The Constitution. Brasileira Mia says they are not stupid. In fact, they are brilliant. But smart people have done plenty of silly things. Intelligence doesn't mean it won't be foolish and questionable. You're right about that. And intelligence also doesn't mean that it won't be affected by emotion. How many times have you found yourself, not you, Carla, but others, involved in something where you let your emotion and your heart get in the way? Where you found yourself in a love affair or something or a business venture. You said, that's the most stupid thing in my, because you let your common sense down. You forgot you forgot how things were playing. It's very easy to do that. It's very easy. And you can be the smartest person in the world. There are people that I know that when it comes to emotional things, I don't know. Let me tell you something. This is a very heady thing. This is very, very tough to maintain. I never, ever hate anybody. Never hate anybody. Never lose my my temper. Never, 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 never. No. Not when it comes to this. But what I will say is that the left has nothing. And what the president is doing in DC now is nothing short of genius. Genius. Do you see what's happening? Picking people up. It's the most beautiful thing. It's like when ICE picks people up. They're saying, if you can't fix it, we're going to fix it. And then you got this idiot, this jadrul, this fool, this woman who was the chief of police who didn't know what chain of command meant. Oh my God, DEI is alive and well. So, my friends, I say to you right now, and I ask you to listen to me carefully. Remember that what we are doing is we are a part of something which is so important and so critical, so great. Do not lose your focus. Do not lose your commitment to this president. And do not lose that which what we're about. America first. America first, okay? That's the bottom line. And I want to thank you. Now, I'm going to grab some coffee. I'm going to head out the door. I'm going to get me a ride. I'm going to do my stuff. And then I'm going to pick this up. And I'm going to go and I'm going to talk at 1 a.m. to a group of people who don't know Nick Fuentes is from a whole. They don't know what you're talking about. They know. They're not stupid or anything, but they're a different channel. They watch Fox News and Newsmax and the New York Post, and they think Israel's doing everything. I mean, they're not bad people. It's just a different channel. You know, it's a different channel. You know, you like jazz, you might like Kenny G. I like Anthony Braxton. It's a different channel. It's a different focus. So, my friends, I thank you. Have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you so much for your genius, and thank you so much for your incredible kindness. All right, I want you to jump over today. Jump over at 1 a.m. Eastern time and hear me do 4 hours to knock their dick in the dirt because they still don't know what I'm all about. And I'm going to show them. All right. We love you. Thank you so much, my friends. Don't forget, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget the other channel, Lionel Legal. And make sure you are absolutely signed up here for Lionel Nation. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And until later, remember the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya. Da.